You are listening to ChartingWealth.com for Tuesday, the 23rd of August, 2016. We jump right into the charts with the 10 minutes you give us every day. And what do we see going on? We start with IYY, which is the iShares Dow Jones U.S. Total Market Index Fund. It tracks the entire stock market. What do we see going on? Well, we have a green spinning top following a red spinning top. Lots of indecision as the market moved sideways for really altogether about 6 days so far. Monday ended the last 2-day candle. What do we see going on? We have a crossover going down on our big chart. Now, that has not developed a great deal. It could potentially, if tomorrow, Tuesday, were a really big day, it could pull that right back over and it would just be a bounce going up. But it's not what we're seeing in the market. Now, I will say the derivative oscillator is still in the positive. It has not crossed yet. If it crosses over in the morning, then of course we will feel more comfortable that we actually do have a rotation over in the market going down. What's been holding this market up? Inflation, printing money backed by nothing. Who knows? But that's what we have seen so far, was a market that just kept going. And guess what? In presidential election years, which our friends over at Stock Traders Almanac 2016, Jeff Hirsch and his dad Yale Hirsch, when I say our friends, I feel like they're my best friends because I have used their materials forever and they have done me so right. If you don't have the Stock Traders Almanac 2016, you must have it. Even though it's getting late in the year, it's worth the $50 or so you'll spend, and you need to get the 2017 for the following year. But what does it tell us? I believe it's page 72. I think I'm right here. Actually, guess what? I have mine right in front of me as I'm sitting here doing the podcast. Why? Because it's that important. It's not page 72, but it is there in the almanac. And what you will find is the presidential cycle, particularly the election year, typically is a strong year for the market. So continue to pay attention, read it, watch the markets every day with us. We may have the rotation over, even though the year's not out, but we do that with trepidation. We want to see it confirmed by more movement. Now let's see what happened. The market was down 0.04% for the day, and that sideways slide for the last 6 or so days, you can see on the 4-hour chart as the market has just maintained about the same level. And we can see that in the morning the market was up a little, down a little bit, up a little bit in the afternoon, making for a market down 0.04%. We're looking at our Heiken Ashi candlesticks. We're below the old 2-day trend line that was broken. We'll be looking to draw a new trend line as soon as we can. Let's move on to the S&P 500 on the 2-day chart. It was basically at 0-0. It wasn't up, it wasn't down, it was sideways. And again, we are seeing starting on the 16th, the market has moved within the movement on the 16th, the 2-day candle ending for the last 6 days, the 16th through the 22nd. So, and that's again 6 market days. So what do we have going on? It's crossed over also on the MACD going down. Derivative oscillator has not yet crossed over into the red. We'll see if that happens in the next day or so. Again, it's not a strong crossing yet. It could bounce back over. If we look at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? Well, again, all that sideways movement. Down in the morning, there was a little bit of up movement in the afternoon. Lots of indecision for the last 4 days in particular. We are still negative since the 4-hour chart crossed over going down back on the afternoon of the 16th of August. Let's go back to the 2-day chart and take a look at the Qs. The Qs was actually up for the day, 0.08%. Now, it did break the 2-day trend line. We've not drawn another one yet because, again, the market's been going sideways since the 16th, just like we saw with the total market in the S&P 500. Remember, the Qs represents the NASDAQ 100. That is the tech stocks. And what do we see going on there? Again, sideways slippage, derivative oscillators losing energy. Haven't crossed over going down yet, but you can tell that the MACD is starting to move down. The signal line is just waiting for an interception as they converge, but no crossing yet. And when we look at the 4-hour chart, again, crossed over going down all the way back on the 10th of the 10th of August, and we've seen a lot of sideways slippage. Again, the market's retraced its gains and losses, and we've been slipping sideways for about 4.5 days or so. So, again, down movement on the Qs. On the short chart, the large chart is still in an up move. So if you see a crossover going back up again, you may have a last chance to make a little money in an up move, but don't hold your breath. For the record, the Qs was up 0.08% for the day. Lastly, we will look at gold, down 0.15%. The 2-day chart is in a confirmed down move since the 8th, the candle ending the 8th of August. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? It crossed over going down back on the afternoon on the 19th, Friday. Did you hop in then and see what you could get out of it? Because it then plummeted down in the morning. And again, gold down 0.1. When I say the morning on Monday. A little bit up movement in the afternoon, pairing off some of those losses. Gold was down 0.15%. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, why would anybody get in gold on a down move? We're talking an inverse move in gold. There are inverse funds that go in the opposite direction of GLD. When the market's going up, GLD goes up. When the market's going down, the inverse of gold goes up. You can find inverse funds in all 3 of the different funds that we follow, indexes that we follow, plus gold. So again, we're teaching you to think out of the box and to think, hey, when the market does roll over, I can get out and not take the loss if I can read a chart, or I can be a little more sophisticated maybe and get into an inverse fund for a period of time to make money when that market goes down. And again, we're asking you not to do this with real money. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We want you to practice these things. Open yourself up a virtual account at any of the online trading houses, any of the online brokerages. Set it up. Start practicing. If you've not already subscribed to our newsletter, you've got to have it. Why? Because with it, you will get our How to Read a Stock Chart video, a link to that, a link to our layout that we use at freestockcharts.com, and you will get the daily worksheet that we use. All of those come with your subscription. And how much does it cost? Nothing. We'd love to hear from you, love to help you. If questions, problems, concerns, go to the website chartingwealth.com, chartingwealth.com. Also, if you want to help us out, we really appreciate a 5-star rating at iTunes. Subscribe to our Charting Wealth podcast. Also at YouTube, Charting Wealth. We're getting closer to the magic number of 1,000 subscribers. We are already well into the 900s. Once we hit 1,000, all of those people who have subscribed will be the people that receive our proprietary broadcasts that YouTube will allow us to do once we hit 1,000. So we really appreciate your help. We hope you find the information we share with you every day is helpful. We want to empower you to get out there and be able to read a stock chart. Whether you're a value investor, whatever you might be, nobody goes onto a car lot, hopefully, and pays full sticker price. And if you just jump into the market because you think a stock's a good deal and you can't read a chart, you may be doing that. You always want to buy as low and as smart as possible and sell as high and as smart as possible. Being able to read a stock chart helps you do that. And that's what we're all about at chartingwealth.com. Thank you for making us, as far as iTunes goes, when you look up stock market, one of the top 10 in the world. We've been as high as 6. We very much appreciate that. Again, subscribe to us at iTunes. Let us hear from you. Chartingwealth.com. God bless you. Keep practicing being able to read these charts. Take care.